ready?
Okay.
It's 5 o'clock. We will call this meeting of the Board of Zoning Appeals to order, please. Roll call.
Rob Kaufman.
Here.
Dave Eggers.
Present.
Skylar Early.
Here.
Karen Munson.
Here.
Jack Swindell.
Here.
We've all had an opportunity to see the minutes from last meeting. Any views, revisions, corrections?
I make a motion to approve as stated.
The motion's been made to approve as stated. We will vote. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Those opposed, nay. They have been approved. Thank you, Dave. First case, please.
First case tonight will be BZA 12-25, Knights of Columbus as petitioner. Petitioners are requesting a variance at 118 East 2nd Street. They're wanting to put a digital sign up in the front of their building, KFC.
Mr. President, I'm recusing myself from this vote, so I can present it to the board.
You're up.
I'm Dave Eggers. I'm Deputy Grand Knight of the Knights of Columbus here in Seymour and Vice President of this board. We're requesting a variance. We want to put up a digital sign. This is a community-involved project. We'll mostly handle announcements for downtown organizations, city organizations, events upcoming downtown, weddings, birthdays, fun times, things like that. I don't know. That's about it. Any questions?
What's the size of the sign, Dave?
Yeah, good question. Patty, what you got over there? It's about this big by about that long.
3 by 4.
Yeah, I'd say
And it's
that.
like neon?
LED.
LED?
Yep. Not like Bob Pointer stuff, but I mean, still has some brightness to it. Absolutely.
Okay, thank you, Dave.
Okay.
Anyone else like to speak in favor of the sign? Anyone opposed? Discussion?
I was gonna say all the adjoining property owners got notice. I didn't get any correspondence. Did you, Patty?
Make the motion to approve.
Motion's been made,
Second.
has been seconded, we'll vote. It has been approved 4-0 with one recusal.
Thank you.
Next case, please.
Next case is BZA 013-25. Jason Combs is the petitioner. Petitioner is requesting a variance at 137 East 13th Street. Wants to add a 12 by 24 structure to the existing garage.
Step forward if you would, please, and state your name and your case.
Teresa Combs, asking for a variance to add a one bay over that's attached to the house.
And it's just gonna look like the rest of the garage, it's just gonna go out another bay.
It will look very similar. We live in a pink house, so I don't think we can get pink siding. But it will actually not come out as far lengthwise. It's going to be about 12 foot shorter on the front side. That way we can still park a vehicle in front of it and not have to worry about the kids trying to back out into traffic.
Okay. Now, is that an active existing alley right next to there, between you and the church?
Yes, there's an alley.
Okay.
So it's gonna be a 12 by 12, not 12 by 24.
It'll be 12 by 24. Our current garage is a 12 by, or is whatever size by like 36. It's about 12 foot longer.
Okay, I thought you said you were cutting it back, so that's why I asked.
So you're gonna cut it back, but the back of the garage will be flush with the rest of the back of the garage.
So what's our actual set aside? How much are we onto that?
Well, I would assume that it's 20 feet. Yeah, this house has been here forever, so, their garage currently, I'm assuming somebody got a variance back in the day, cause it's already too close.
So we actually have had, from the edge of the garage, there used to be a RV that parked there, and then an enclosed trailer that parked beside it. We have sold the RV, so basically this garage would just take place of that, where that RV was.
And
And
the,
there's already a concrete pad that's been there since we bought the home.
and the enclosed trailer is yours,
Yes, the enclosed trailer is
and
ours.
the flatbed trailer on the backside of the house, is that yours
Absolutely,
also?
yep.
It appeared to be about 6 feet, to answer the question.
Right, yeah, that's where I got it figured too.
So the variance is to get close to the alley.
Is the back property line.
Right. And or
So kind
side.
of set right inside where that enclosed trailer is, right in there.
Looks like it, yeah.
That's what it looks like to me, right?
Yes.
I didn't go out and measure or step it off, but it looked like it'd be right about right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it looks like.
Yeah, we would have, between the trailer and the garage, we'd still be open to able to open the enclosed trailer door to go in that side door. So there would be, I don't know, 2 or 3 foot, however wide in between.
Okay, thank you very much. Anyone else in favor of this? Anyone opposed to it? Any questions or discussion? Without, I'll seek a motion.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion's been made, I will second it. We vote. It has been approved, 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. You'll need to come see Patty, I believe, for your
Permit.
building permit.
Not tonight,
Not tonight, okay.
Tomorrow.
Anytime you're in office.
next
perfect.
day.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Next case, please.
Next case is BZA 014-25. Steve Ferris is a petitioner. Petitioner is requesting a variance at 1305 North Ewing Street. In the future, he would like to build a duplex on the lot there, and he's wanting to access it from the alley.
Would the petitioner step forward and state your name and case, please?
Well, I'm not Steve Ferris. I'm Andrew Skaggs, his son-in-law, representing Steve. And is it okay if I pass out a little handout real quick?
You're more than welcome to.
Hey, how are ya?
I don't think
Sure.
we make sure they get them.
Thanks.
Well, Steve's not here. He's in North Carolina watching 4 of his grandkids while his daughter is in Africa. But I'm representing him tonight, and most of you know Steve, I think, and I've known Steve and observed him for a lot of years. And I'll be brief, but this first page that I have is all in this area around 1305 North Ewing. And the properties I have outlined in black are all properties that Steve has worked on, renovated, and is currently working on. And I've watched Steve a long time, and every time he does something, he does it right. He never compromises quality. And when you, and one thing I will say, he just purchased 106 East 14th Street, across from there next to the railroad tracks, across from the old golf course property. And it has been an eyesore for a long time, and Steve's taking care of it. So Steve has made a great impact in this area. And if you flip to the second page, the property that we're talking about tonight is a house that Steve owns. It's 1305 North Ewing Street. And this lot is 57 feet wide and 306 feet deep. And it has great rear alley access to it. And I know the comment was made that Steve is asking for permission to build a duplex. And I've talked to Steve, and right now, you know, he's not here representing himself tonight. He is just asking for the opportunity to build some type of residential construction on this home. Whether it could be a duplex, whether it is another single-family home. That's all he's wanting tonight. And I've been in my family's business of building my whole life. And the funnest part of building and construction is the creativity side of it, figuring out ways to solve problems. And a problem that we have in our current housing market is trying to find places to build affordable, quality homes. Because everything is so expensive, building lots are extremely hard to find, and they're very expensive. And I will say that whatever Steve does on this property will be quality. And this is where this opportunity, I think, goes beyond just 1305 North Ewing. So if you flip to the third page in your packet, this is a concept that is kind of new to me. It's been, and you're probably aware of it. It's new to me. I'm just learning about it, but it is a concept that helps address and provide places to build quality, affordable housing, and it's called an ADU, an accessory dwelling unit. And they're doing this right now in Columbus. I have a good friend who told me about this concept, and they are doing it in their downtown area where there is alley access. And that's where I say this opportunity goes beyond just this one home that will help fit a need that we need for affordable housing. And it's this concept of accessory dwelling units, because we have all kinds of places in our community where we could build additional housing that have rear access to building lots. And with this particular lot of 1305 North Ewing, I mean, it's not a small lot. This thing is over 300 feet deep. And so it's an opportunity there to build something that's quality and affordable. And that's all that Steve is asking for, is that the door not be closed on this tonight, that he has an opportunity to meet with whomever he needs to figure out what you think the proper type of residential product should go on that lot. And as me, I look at this as someone that's been in this my whole life, and that we need affordable housing and quality housing, not just some type of house where you figure out how to save $1, but it's quality. And I know that's what Steve would do. So that's all that he's asking for tonight. I do have a letter from one of the residents. She may be, is Shelley here tonight? She's not here, but I do have a letter that Steve gave to me that I'll also give to you all. But I'm happy to answer any questions that you have for this.
Okay, we've got several other people
Okay.
that need to speak, and so
Okay.
we'll.
I'm sorry.
We'll give, no, you're fine.
I just think this is a cool opportunity, so.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there anyone else here to speak in favor of this project? Anyone here opposed to the project?
Yes, we do.
Okay, one at a time, please. Step forward and state your name.
Okay.
I should say before she speaks, we did get several letters of opposition
Yes,
in your packet, so.
we've got
Go ahead.
those.
My name's Pamela Hill, and we do oppose to this. Our end of the neighborhood it's mainly elderly people, and it's a quiet, family-oriented neighborhood, and we don't want a duplex built in. And I know the gentleman said that it would be a single-family home or something, but we were all told by Mr. Ferris it would be a duplex, possibly two.
Yeah, so to answer that question, tonight, we're just talking about the access from
Okay.
the alley. Now, if
Okay.
you know, I was told the same thing as you were, that it was gonna be a duplex. Maybe he changed his mind, but irregardless, if it's a duplex, he will have to, if this passes tonight, he would have to come to the city council and plan commission to get
Okay.
it rezoned. So
As
there'll be
far-
more meetings if it's
As
a
far
duplex.
as the alley, I live right across from that field, our property is. And so far, there've already been 2 people that have come down through there, that field, and turned and hit our fence. And Mr. Ferris was one actually, years ago, when he was dumping the dirt in the field. He backed up his dump truck and his guys tried telling me he was too close. And he turned and he hit our fence at that time. And then there was another young man that was going too fast down the alley and he hit our wrought iron fence. Now, another problem for us with that is right down the middle of that alley runs that sewer system, and our septic runs, 145 feet down the middle of that alley. And our clean out is under that alley in the gravel next to the street, the blacktop starts. So, I mean, there's other things I'm not opposed to progress. Yeah, everybody needs progress, you know, but to build something in the middle of housing, that's, you know, and the field floods. And if that gets built up, that field does, it already floods everybody's backyards now. And if he builds up on that or blacktops that, it's going to be even worse, the flooding is. And that's just a few days' rain. So that's my opposing thing.
Okay, thank you very much. Who else is opposed?
That was my wife. She went over about everything I said. My name's Gerald Hill. I live at 229 East 13th Street. There's a few things I want to talk about. The drainage. What are they going to do about the drainage? Because by the pictures that you got, it floods a lot. The alley, he talked about the alley. You can't even hardly get one car down that alley. And when you pull out on that one property, you're going to run right in my wall. My fencing is right there. There's only about 6 foot there on that alley. Okay, let's see. Yeah, she talked about our sewer line. The city's got one right onto the left of his property. How's he going to put any sewage lines in? Is that going across other lines? Is that legal? That's all I was thinking of. And mine's in the right-hand side. Let's see. Another thing I was thinking of, if Mr. Ferris owns that land in front, why isn't he coming off of Ewing Street instead of out of the alley? Number one, we got traffic problems. I've had to fence my yard off to keep my grandkids in. It's just, they're going too fast. And another thing, that alley has not been maintained for over 5 years. You ought to see, by the pictures, you can see the potholes in it. Even the city has not done a thing to it. Okay. Is there any questions on the photographs or the pictures where it floods?
Not as of right now, no.
Okay, and another thing, he's getting ready to blacktop his business on the corner, which that's fine. But when you look at your pictures, it's coming right down at us. So that's more rainwater that's going to be in that sewage, that storm drain. It ain't big enough to handle it. Thank you.
Thank you. Who else?
I live on 14th Street,
Your name, please.
and that spot of ground is right behind my house.
Your name, please.
Gregory Burton.
Thank you.
Okay. And I already have my yard flooded out every time it rains. Because all the water from over on Highway 11 comes all the way down on us. And I flood out in my yard because the cover that runs through, it's been bent in and it's not been changed out for years. And we've tried to get them to change it out the city. So, and we have a really bad water problem there. And then we have a lot of traffic on 14th Street and 13th Street and 15th Street. And, we don't really need no more traffic. And, that's about all I got to say. But I oppose it.
Thank you.
Roger Quillen. So I live on 13th Street, across the street from the alley, catty corner. Basically, Dave and Bev across the street from me. Their backyard would be facing that. And everybody's right, the rainwater would be a huge issue if you don't let that go to that point. It does flood our street on 13th Street when it rains. I mean, the last month ought to be evidence of them if you come down our street. And the alley traffic has gotten huge over the past few years anyway, because a lot of the people behind us are accessing that alley from whatever street that would come down behind. Was that 15th or 14th?
14.
So that alley is already busy enough, and it's not really wide enough, and they're always cutting the corner anyway. They cut the corner when they come out of the alley that they're using now. I don't have an issue with Steve's quality of what he builds. I mean, I looked at the house down the street he built. It's a nice house. That's not the issue. I mean, but when they do turn them into rentals, and most of us own our home in that area, and the renter people that are in our area, most of them have been there for, the ones across the street's been there for 12, 13 years. Older people, their yard looks like they own it because they care. Most of the renters around us trash their place. Matter of fact, the renters right behind Gary and Pam, who is owned by Ferris, that had 3 renters, I think, in it in the last year or two. And the trash blows all over the place from their yard. They don't keep it up. It looks, most of us are trying to make our house look decent over there without moving to somewhere where the houses are $400,000. So I think that's going to be a huge issue if you keep adding more rentals to a tight area and add more traffic. And if he has the money to do it, he could build them somewhere else. I mean, it's not like it has to be right in that hole where it's already flooding. And my other question would be, if you're going to do the alley, if we have to make it a street, that becomes an issue for the city to pay for, right? He's not going to pay for upkeep of an actual street, right? And the sewer. So that becomes our taxpayer money's paying for somebody else to make money off of us. That doesn't seem actually like something I'd want to do with my money, is to help one of you guys make more money. That doesn't seem to make sense to me, but I'm sure there's other questions we have, but without knowing what all he's going to do to make that work, it's not really, other than the rainwater and the sewer and the electric and all that stuff that's going to affect everybody. I don't know what else you could actually put in place until we know what he's going to do for sure. So,
But again, this is just preliminary to find out if he has an opportunity to do something there. That's what this is about.
yeah.
What tonight's meeting, just so you know, not allowed to access a property from an alley, has to have street frontage. That's why he's asking for a variance tonight. That's all this board can,
That's all we're.
you guys got questions about water and things, and that would be when he comes to the design phase. But right now, the variance is he wants to access off of an alley instead of a major street.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hey, I'm Dovey Stedham. I own the house beside of Steve. He called me and asked me if he could buy that lot behind me, buy it off me, the back part. And I told him, no, it's not for sale. And he did say he was going to build a duplex. He did say he was going to put garages on them so they would pull off the alley into the garage. But everybody knows most people has more than one car. So they'll be lined up and down that little alley, and then the guy that rents off me can't go down the alley if there's cars and you'd be driving in the yard and everything. So I don't think it's a good idea.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Good evening. Brent Osterman. I live actually next to Roger Quillen. Yes, there is some issues with the alley they've been bringing up. There's just no access to that alley and heading back towards the other homes. So I just want to kind of bring that up too. So thank you.
Thank you, Brent. Anyone else? Discussion amongst the board.
Well, my question or thought is this premature if he doesn't know what he's going to build there, which is what his representative said? You know, I don't know that I want to approve access through an alley to something I don't know what's there. 1 duplex, 2 duplexes, or something else.
Well, whether it be 1 or 2 or a single household, we don't do that on alleys and have access to the front of a home, whether it be 2 or 3 or 1 on an alley, and especially when it's going over utility, like the drainage, because if something had happened and that culvert something would happen to that culvert, then those people would lose access to getting to the front of their homes. If I'm looking at that correctly, am I?
Well, if something happened in our alley, the city would fix it.
Sure.
You're basically, I just said it this 3 minutes ago. Your job tonight is, do you want someone to access a new property from an alleyway instead of a street? That's against our code. Your job tonight is, do you want to allow him the variance to access to the back of the property, or do you think he ought to have street frontage? That's kind of where I'm at.
We all know that this happens all over town too, right? We have places in town like that too. And you're right, from the standpoint of gaining access off of the alleyway as a typical run, I understand that, and we don't do that very often. In this particular instance, given the way that alley's laid out and the way that access is done, you know, let's just do this. Jeremy, I mean, all these are valid points. That does catch floodwater, and there's a draining issue. Those are not gonna change anything moving forward unless the city gets involved. So that is where you need to be in touch with your councilman and explain the same thing and show those pictures, because that's a drainage issue in the city. And there are people to take care of that. I'm with you. I think your culvert's probably too small. Your stormwater drain is probably not potential enough to take care of the drainage that's back there. You know, in saying that, to be honest with you, Steve would face the same thing building on that lot as having those drainage issues as well. So, I don't think that's a win. But once again, that's not our agenda for this evening. Our agenda, but I thought we should address some of your concerns, because those concerns, that alley's in horrific condition. I totally agree. Once again, it's got big holes. I drove through it today. It's in rough shape. Once again, that's a city issue.
What about, I'm sorry, but what about our sewer that runs down through that alley? If you guys do make it a street, what happens to us? I mean, does that get blacktop, and then if we ever have a problem, we have to pay to have the whole street dug up again? If you call it a street instead of an alley?
I don't think we're debating.
We're not gonna call it a street. It's just,
We're not gonna it's still gonna be an alley.
if this variance goes through, this board would allow him to access his property from a back alley.
And what you gotta understand too, the process is this. So even if we approved that we would give him a variance to put an address on an alleyway, okay, because that's what we're here to do. If we were to do that, this has to go from here, then he'll have to go to planning and zoning for a replat, which they have to have that rezoned to do that. And then it has to be voted on by the city council. Your elected officials have to give the final say-so. As far as what can be built there, what address can be there, what your concerns are there, all those things fall into place. So all we are really doing tonight is saying, hey, you know what, it's worth giving it a shot to see if somebody can work that out, right? Or we're not gonna give that a shot, so that's not gonna be the case. So that's all we're here to do, because there are many more bigger players than us and have been involved in this that would have to all pass before they would think. I will make the statement of this. I own land, I own property. Debbie owns a bunch of it too. We all are in the same boat here. An undeveloped piece of land that we've made investments on, because Debbie's got it too. Debbie has investments on lands that we all of a sudden cannot do anything with. Isn't fair to the owners, right? So I'm not saying that this proposal works. This proposal works. I'm saying that restricting the access or restricting what can be done in a piece of property moving forward is tough to say when there's no violations. You understand what I'm saying? You're limiting someone who's made an investment in a piece of land that now everyone's telling him he can't do anything with.
Well, originally when he bought it,
Yes.
he had mentioned he was gonna put a garage on it for the renter, for the house.
Okay.
And then he brought in all that dirt and piled it up and just left it mounded there. So,
When I went through today, it's smooth as could be, and the grass was mowed and everything was gorgeous.
they just did it yesterday.
They
yeah.
just could not have smoothed that out yesterday.
The yard? Is that what
There
you're
was
talking
no
about?
mounds of dirt, there's no
Yes, there
dirt,
is.
everything's
Up behind the
scratched in.
house.
Look at the map. It'll show the.
Yeah, on the
mounds of dirt.
picture, it's behind the house.
Where's that?
Way up here, I see it, there's some,
That's been
Yeah.
there 3 years he's left
Yeah.
that.
He was gonna build a garage and he brought that dirt in
And it
And
builds
then-
up 10, 12 feet high.
and then he just
Every
left
summer.
it and that's what we told he was gonna do then at that time, put a garage in there for
how
that.
long ago was that?
That's about 3 years ago.
Yeah, 3 years.
Okay, alright. Well, I said all valid points, but at the end of the day, our responsibility
I mean, I
is to
understand
say-
it's his property and he wants to do something with it. And that's fine, but when he bought it, he knew that field was there. And he didn't buy it with the intention probably, if you'd ask him, if he'd be honest, that I'm gonna buy it because I'm gonna put a duplex in the backyard. I mean,
Let's get back on track here, because we have more meetings in here in a little bit, so if we tie up too much
Okay.
time, we're running into somebody else's time, so
okay.
let's move forward.
Okay.
I agree that concerns are valid. And just the way that I'm thinking through this, we could say no to the variance, but the alley's still in rough shape. You still have drainage issues, speed up and down 13th. None of that's addressed if we say no. If we say yes, to me, there's an opportunity to take some building construction, your voices with city council, like Dave has said, and fix those issues as it's being developed. That's the way that I'm thinking. I know there's multiple checks and balances in place to go forward from here based on what our ruling is. So that's just my thought process, I guess, to add 2 cents.
I feel like he can access his property from the alley. He can pull in there all the time and dump dirt or whatever, I assume. So the question for us is, can 4, 6, or 8 other people access through that alley? Cause if it's a duplex or whatever,
Keep
I'm
in
just saying-
mind, I've
no,
said-
I'm
I've said this
saying-
5 times, keep in mind, if you're going to build on the back of a lot like this, you have to have road frontage. Alley is not road frontage, that's
I know.
why the variance.
Right.
okay? If there was not a house sitting in front, he would have road frontage. So I'm not telling you one way or the other, I'm just trying to make clear why this was the first hurdle, because if you say no, he's done. He can't do anything,
okay,
so,
alright,
tonight, if you want to allow him to go against the code that says he doesn't have to have road frontage, because an alley is not road frontage, street
Okay.
frontage.
I understood
Okay.
the first time.
Well, it seemed like we were running around.
No. Nope.
Any more discussion? If not, I'll look for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion's been made. Anybody second it?
I'll second that.
We vote. It has been approved 3-2. 3 votes for, 2 votes against.
And now just to be clear, if he wants a duplex, he still has to come and get a rezone. So you'll be informed when that happens as well. You'll get a letter.
So that means he will have alley access?
They've granted him access off the alley. If he wants to build a single-family dwelling, you probably won't hear another thing.
I thought you said it was against the code though.
Yeah.
That's what they
That's
just,
why
that's what this board
what-
is. It's variance
was
to
here.
our code.
We just granted it 3-2 that he could.
Is he just building one dwelling?
We don't know. We
I
just
thought he was building two.
we just voted that he would have access to be able to do that.
Okay.
He'll have to come to us with the plan.
He would have to go to the plan commission and the council. Next case, please.
Next case tonight's BZA 015-25. Sean Malone is the petitioner. Petitioner is requesting a variance at 751 West Second Street. He wants to build an 8-foot fence at the back of his property.
Would the petitioner step forward and state your name and your case, please?
Sean Malone, thank you for hearing this evening. I appreciate it. I'm currently looking to do an 8-foot fence across the back of Harmony Park. And it would be a sound absorption wall to help keep the sound in our park, to eliminate some of the new neighbors that got built on Maple Avenue and some of the older neighbors who maybe have had issues with sound before. So that's really what I'm requesting.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Anybody else in favor of? Anybody opposed to? Any questions?
You say a sound barrier fence, you're just talking about a wooden fence?
Yes, sir.
Nothing special as far as sound barrier, other than the fence?
The fence, and I would like to put some just foam batting against it, facing the park, to just
Okay.
keep the music
So,
inside
okay, there is something else
It would
there.
just be a fence across the back of the property.
Okay.
Yeah. With our stage, the speaker's set up about 2 foot up off of it, which would put me just over the fence if it were just 6 foot. So I'm requesting the variance for the 8 foot just to kind of help that.
And it's where you already have the poles up?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So if it goes 8 foot, we wouldn't be able to hear a thing on the other side, right?
I doubt that, sir.
And if it's 6, then we'd be able to hear a little bit, probably.
Probably a little bit.
Okay.
Effort's being made. How about that?
An effort is being made.
I'll make a motion to approve, sir.
Yeah.
We'll vote. Has been approved 5-0.
Thank you, BZA. I appreciate your time this evening.
Come see Patty for your permit. That's all I got, folks, unless somebody's got something.
Anything else, new and or old? Without any new or old business?
Sorry.
Out, I make a motion to dismiss. By second? I think somebody seconded it. It's over.
Second.
It's
We can get out of the way.
I was the last one here, so if I'm the first one out the door.
I told you it was all good.
I guess I should be more punctual.
Well, I got nothing.